In a breaking news story, it appears that there is possibly a fourth accuser in the Brett Kavanaugh case, and we know this due to an NBC breaking news story. So this is all based on a call that Senate Republicans had with Brett Kavanaugh, and the Republican Senate investigators asked Kavanaugh about the new complaint. And according to this complaint, there was an anonymous letter sent to Republican Senator Cory Gardner of Colorado, and it alleged that Kavanaugh physically assaulted a woman he socialized with in the Washington, D.C. area in 1998. And this is allegedly while he was drunk or inebriated. The sender of the complaint described an evening involving her own daughter, Kavanaugh, and several friends. And again, this was in 1998. And the letter is quoted in this piece, and it allegedly says, when they left the bar under the influence of alcohol, they were all shocked when Brett Kavanaugh shoved her friend up against the wall very aggressively and sexually, and that there were at least 4 witnesses, including my daughter. The writer of the letter provided no names, but said the alleged victim was still traumatized and had decided to remain anonymous.
So that's interesting because earlier today, Michael Avenatti came forward with someone else who had allegations about Brett Kavanaugh, and that was a person named Swetnick. And she had said that Kavanaugh and his friend Mark Judge had engaged in, quote, abusive and physically aggressive behavior towards girls, which, quote, included the fondling and groping of girls without their consent, and, quote, not taking no for an answer. So almost the same exact description from the early 1980s and in 1998. But understand, I mean, the story just came out. It's breaking news right now. We don't know who it is. So then
and we don't have all the details.
And so it's harder to judge its veracity.
And one other thing that I want to note, to be absolutely fair, the third accuser, Swetnick, outlined the allegations in a sworn affidavit, and that matters. These are allegations that were given to a Senate Republican through a letter. So a sworn affidavit is different from a letter, but that doesn't mean that these allegations are untrue. But they are different in terms of how they're weighed in like a criminal justice system.
So what's the over-under on number of hours until the fifth one happens?
I don't know.
Because I can't even keep up at this pace. I heard about this one right before we went on, and I thought it was the one from earlier today, because that was also today, but it's not. It's a completely separate one. So, I mean, are they going to go forward with this hearing tomorrow, you think? I mean,
yeah, the hearing, Trey, they'll definitely go forward with. But at this point, it really would be unreal if they actually voted on Friday like they're planning right now.
So they will then. Because only unreal things happen anymore. Like, that's just how things work.
Yeah. So if with now 4 accusers, sworn affidavits by Julie Swetnick, 4 sworn affidavits backing up that Christine Blasey Ford had talked about this incident many years prior to Kavanaugh being appointed. Mm-hmm. And then now people peeling back from the letters they wrote supporting Kavanaugh. A bunch of people, 3 new people dropped out today saying, okay, I unsigned the letter.
That's right.
Okay, in the middle of this madness and this, at a bare minimum, lack of clarity, if they go on Friday, yeah, we got enough evidence. I think we know what's going on here. Okay, he's a perfectly great guy. Let's move forward. We're voting yes.
And
madness.
As it stands now, and it could change, but as it stands now, the hearing on Thursday will only involve the testimony of Brett Kavanaugh and Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. So Deborah Ramirez isn't involved. Swetnick, the latest, well, not the latest, but one of the allegations or accusers from today will not testify. And the latest allegation that we just talked about, that we don't even know who this person is, so we don't think that she's going to testify. But one other thing that I do want to mention is that, previously on the show, we gave you 2 different examples of Trump responding to some of these allegations today, including Swetnick's allegations. And he was holding firm, still supporting Brett Kavanaugh. And now there's a new quote from Trump, and it appears that he might be backtracking a little bit. And so I want to give you that quote. On Wednesday, Trump said he, quote, can't tell yet whether Kavanaugh's known accusers are liars because he's waiting to watch the hearing on Thursday. Trump admitted that it's possible they could be convincing.
That is very un-Trumpian.
It is.
So normally he goes with the denials, the strong denials. The only reason he would say that, I'm keeping it real with you on decoding politics, which is what we do, is Republican senators have gone to him and said, hold your horses. We might get out of Dodge here. So don't keep backing him if we're going to backpedal and throw him under a bus. Because if we are, the more we talk about how great he is, the worse we'll seem for quote unquote throwing him under a bus according to our base. Because that's what Rush Limbaugh is going to say. That's what Fox News is going to say. So apparently that memo is, in my interpretation, is circulating now. And it's got to be. Because Lisa Murkowski, a Republican senator, was already talking about there's got to be an FBI investigation. Collins and Murkowski and Flake have to be teetering on the edge here. Flake gave an impassioned speech, Republican from Arizona who's retiring, saying, I don't know how anybody would know if it was Kavanaugh was telling the truth or Ford was telling the truth. He's like, that's why we got to listen to the hearings, et cetera. It didn't seem like he was in a mood to rush to a vote. So they're going to lose. They might lose their own Republican senators. All they got to do is lose 2. And if they do, then they'll have gone through all this pain and lost anyway. So Mitch McConnell is savvy enough to know how to count. Maybe Donald Trump isn't, but McConnell is. And if he's at 49 senators, that's not enough. Then they're going to pull Kavanaugh. So we'll see. But that's a very interesting quote from Donald Trump, who does not normally give quotes.